Hi, my name is Julien Smith, and I teach Theology and Humanities in Christ College, the Honors College of Valparaiso University. Today I'd like to tell you about a couple books I've been reading during quarantine. The first is a sci-fi series called Red Rising. I'm already on book 3 out of 5. In this series, the human race has colonized the entire solar system, from Mercury to Pluto. Now, to achieve this heroic technological feat, they've instituted a color-coded caste system. At the top are the golds, who wield all the power and enjoy all the luxury. At the bottom are the reds, whose slave labor props up the entire oppressive system. The story focuses on Darrow, a young, charismatic red who comes to lead a rebellion against the system by impersonating a gold and eventually becoming the adopted son of the arch-governor of Mars, a ruthless tyrant named Nero. The world building in this series is really creative and clever, and the storytelling is outstanding. For the entire 2.5 months of quarantine, I haven't been able to put it down. But the series also raises some really interesting questions about leadership and about the things that really motivate us. The leadership model of the society is based upon violence, fear, and coercion. All members of society are slaves to their caste, even in some sense the powerful golds. Yet Darrow, who grew up on the very bottom rung of society, realizes that he cannot lead a rebellion with an army of slaves. Learning how to lead while treating people as friends rather than tools is one of the challenges that Darrow must figure out. The series also raises thoughtful questions about what ultimately motivates us. We might think, for example, that a desire to preserve the human race would naturally lead us to the good life. But this desire is precisely what motivates Nero, and he's one of the most villainous characters in the book. He explains his philosophy to his adopted son Darrow, saying, "Man will end and the universe will continue without care. I will not let that happen because I believe in man. I would have us continue forever. I would make man the immutable fixture in the universe, not just some passing bacteria that flashes and fades with no one to remember, and that is why I know there is a proper way to live." But this man is a monster. He murdered Darrow's wife. He even murdered his own wife. He enslaves millions, using people like disposable tools. He will do absolutely anything to carry on his vision. Now Darrow, who is listening to Nero's grand philosophy, grasps the paradox and hypocrisy. He thinks to himself, there is no morality to him. His aspirations are so grand that he has become inhuman in his desperate desire to preserve humanity. The next book I'm reading also deals with the problem of our grand aspirations. 8 years ago, my wife and I planted these 2 lovely apple trees. And in 8 years, they have not yielded one single apple. These trees are a living testament to our deep ignorance of how to grow apples. Humans, of course, are inherently ignorant in so many ways. And living with this abiding ignorance is the subject of this book by Wendell, The Way of Ignorance. The real problem with ignorance, Barry thinks, isn't simply that we don't know things. The problem is that we are arrogant in our ignorance. Barry puts it this way: the real problem is the supposition in a time of great technological power that humans either know enough already or can learn enough soon enough to foresee and forestall any bad consequences of their use of that power. As a college professor, I've dedicated my professional life to the pursuit of knowledge. But this little book has made me aware of a painful paradox of how ignorantly we often use the knowledge we acquire. Humans are the most destructive species on Earth, a sad distinction that has been increased rather than decreased by the vast sums of knowledge we have acquired. The challenge that Barry has been helping me think about is how to live in the way of ignorance, a way of living that doesn't destroy the sources of our life. Thanks for listening, and I hope you get a chance to read these books sometime soon. And if you do, I'd love to know what you think.